Welcome back to KBC News Check, and I had mentioned earlier is that on this second hour we are looking at autism, and as also I had mentioned is that we are having two autism champions who also happen to be blessed with children who have autism. Yesterday we did celebrate World Autism Day, which is a day earmarked by the United Nations General Assembly since 2007 to just look back and see exactly more on autism awareness, and also what steps have we taken as a country and as a world in ensuring that we do help people who have autism. And according to the World Health Organization, the year 2022, about 1 in every 100 children is bound to have this condition. And without further ado, for the next around 30 minutes or so, we'll be engaging from my immediate left Pauline Wamukoya. Pauline is the director and team leader at Mali Therapy Center for Children with Autism. Karibu sana, Pauline.
Thank you so much.
And just next to her, we have another beautiful lady, Felistar Muthoni. Felistar Muthoni is one of us. She is actually an employee of the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and she, for lack of a better words, help people like me look better on the screen. She is a makeup artist, than actually better on the screen than we actually look. She's a makeup artist with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Karibu sana, Felistar.
Thank you.
First things first, maybe you can share to us, because a lot of people do not understand autism. And something that I also learned when I was doing some research is that there are some parents, even kids are 5 years old, but they've never actually understood exactly what happened to their kids. And in a continent and a country where we have myths, we have issues of witchcraft, you know, curses, some people don't understand what this condition is. You are blessed with kids who have autism. Yes. Kindly tell us more about them.
Well, so the official explanation for autism is it is a neurological disorder. So the characteristics are, you know, slow interaction, less eye contact, tiptoeing, holding the ears, screaming, squinting when there's light, you know, and digestion issues. You find a lot of gut issues, ENT issues. Those are just a number of the few characteristics. But as a parent, I look at it as the brain has been put in a pod. So what you need to do is, because the brain has not been exposed to education, to interaction, to all that. So I tell people what we need to do is just remove the brain from the pod and expose it. And when you talk about myths, there are so many myths that are going on. Oh, my child has been bewitched. Oh, it is mental illness. And so there's, I always advise parents, the earlier the better. Get a clear diagnosis, then from there you'll be able to help your child. Because at the end of the day, you cannot help a child if you really don't know what you're handling. Yeah, so, yeah.
Felistar, maybe you can tell us, how is it living with a child who has autism, and how did you discover that your child needs some special attention?
It started with the way we communicate. She doesn't communicate like other people. She will flap her hands, maybe rock. Sometimes she doesn't like playing with other children. And most of the times people used to tell me, unalea mtoto wako vibaya. Mtoto wako ako na mashetani. People would tell me all these things, and at the back of my mind I knew there's something that is not right. Something is different from other children. So I decided to go for the test, and they told me that she has autism. Yeah.
It has been a complicated journey, hasn't it been?
It has, because first of all, I have never seen anybody who has an autistic child before. It has always been me, and the whole world expects me to know what to do, where to go, how to handle it, and I don't know how to handle it. And for the past, since she turned 3 and 4 years, I think that is when I saw dust.
Yeah.
I'm going. She has changed now. She has a personality. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I have not seen awareness. Where should I take her? You know, if she needs therapy, the therapies that I hear about, they're so expensive. I don't know what to do and where to go. So for those 2 years, it has been kivumbi. I have seen for myself, but I thank God right now we have found therapy, so now tunaendelea vizuri, we thank God.
Pauline, back to you, and
Yes.
you got to a point where you had to establish a facility
Yes.
that not only creates awareness, that helps other parents who are going through the same thing or the same condition, the same that your kid has.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So just like she said, the journey from the time of diagnosis is not easy. Back, I can say my son is turning 10, so I can say 7 years ago, we didn't know where to go. You go, you get the diagnosis, and then when you ask, okay, what are the options? Even the doctors are like, you know what, in this country, there's so little to go by. So you're stranded. So you don't even know, you have to go do research. And this journey took me out of the country. And I can tell you, having a child on the spectrum or any other disability in that case is expensive, let me tell you. And right now, there are more therapists available. There's more awareness. I can tell you accessibility has not gone to the level that we want, but it's there. But I can tell you the price is still expensive. So I went out of the country and I trained, and it was not sustainable. It was taxing to my family. I have other children, and you can see being out of the country for 6-7 months, you have other children younger than the boy, and it's, you know, it's very taxing. So I decided, you know what, I cannot do this. What they are doing out of the country is not rocket science. So I went and trained. I trained as an ABA therapist. I went and trained as a music therapist, and with the partnership, because I realized those two are not in the country. So, but these other ones, I can get people that I can work with, that we have like minds, and we set up the center. And I can tell you, we have been able to assist other people. So even in our community, we've been able now to, we have a support group that is called Autism Moms Kenya. We have a membership of around 2,000 parents. We have Autism 1, Autism 2, and it is a social welfare group that we are able to, we have professionals also in the group. So if you join as a professional, we tell you, you are here to help us. Pro bono. So if I wake up at night and my child is crying and I don't know, you give me options. If you are a neurologist, you have to tell me, check this and this. So the group has also been able to help other people. Even small videos, you'll find specialists just creating small videos and sharing, so that you can be able, if I'm not able to afford these therapies at the interval that is required, then the support group is able to. And we have parents to support. We also have parents who have older children that are in the group. So they tell you, this worked for me. This didn't work for me. This diet worked for me. Diet is not necessary when your child is like this. And I can tell you, it's a community that is growing, and we are doing something.
And we'll be talking more about Autism Moms K, because I found that I looked at it and I saw you doing quite amazing.
Thank
because
you.
this is a condition that most of the people try, even parents try to hide their children. Looking at Felistar, looking at children with autism, I'm looking at a very practical example of, I saw it on YouTube, and then I followed the story of Cody Lee, who is an American singer, songwriter, performance artist. You know, he's so much all-rounded. He has autism and he is also blind. Many people don't know that these kids have very special talents. Arts, they are into music, they are into, they have artistic, they are autistic but artistic as well. Parents who are even hiding their children, they cannot get help. What can you advise parents who are having children who have this condition? When
I noticed that my daughter has autism, I did not know where to go. And I would tell people, if you can go to a government hospital. I've never been in any groups. I'm hearing about the groups now, and I'm feeling such a relief. But if you're out there and you feel like your child has anything that it looks like it's a little bit off, go to any government hospital. I went to Madare Hospital, I got the diagnosis, and after I got the diagnosis, I started going for therapies in Kise, which is a government institution as well. It is quite affordable. It's not everything that I need, but at least it's something. Because you need therapy, you as the caregiver and also the child. You go through a lot, you don't know who to talk to. Sometimes you look at your child, pia wewe unashindwa, lakini ni ukweli labda amerogwa, inaweza kuwa ni mashetani. So, because you've never experienced anything like it. But when you go get a diagnosis from a government hospital and then try to get the therapist, it's gonna help. And now that she has talked about the groups, I think all of us, you should try and join the groups, because you need someone that will tell you. And when, like I remember there's a time my baby would tell me, my stomach is big. And I wouldn't know what it means. I didn't know that she has gut issues, that she has indigestion issues. I didn't know. Sometimes she'll tell you something and you're wondering, what is this? So me, my best friend has been Google since I don't know anybody. I can be sleeping, I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and Google, I saw 1, 2, 3, what does it mean? What should I expect when she's now 5 years? What is coming? If she does this, what am I supposed to do? Because I didn't have anybody to go to.
And it's a good thing that she was able to get help, Pauline. But so many people are not able to get help. First, because of one, there are not many facilities in the country, and two, the caregivers themselves also need some level of training, because you will bear me witness that you have episodes with your kids.
Yes.
Right?
Terrible.
Kindly talk about that.
I can tell you, I know where she is right now, because at the age of 3 to 6, it was terrible. It was terrible. We call it, that is the high school of autism. That's what we call, you know when you're in Form 2 and your hormones are raging. I can tell you that is because that is where the gut issues come in, the ENT issues come in. That is when the child's mind is growing and the sensory issues are at their peak. Why? Because this child's mind is not... there's nothing wrong with the mind. It is just not developing at the same pace like other children. It's just slow development. And they want to learn. They want to express themselves. And there's a lot of meltdowns. The gut issues are there. I remember my son would cry for 3 days. Continuous days. Straight. Not eating, nothing, crying. And the cry is not even the normal cry. It's the pitch is. So what we would do, we would all take mattresses and sit in the living room and wait for it to go. And after 3 days, he's back to normal. He wants to eat. Yeah, like that. So that is the face of autism. And I can tell you, for parents, without getting assistance, without getting someone to tell you this is normal, it will pass, it is a gut issue. So we got to the group and I would post the video and a parent would say, that sound, the way that child is crying, it's a gut issue. Have you tried giving antibiotics? I'm like, or go to these pediatricians, because also I can tell you there are some doctors who don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. I'm not saying that they are messing up, but they don't know, because they have not gotten in contact with children with these challenges. So the more we are talking about it, the more in the group we are making it is okay for you to share. You're not allowed to share anything out of this group. It is a safe space. You can tell us if you have not taken your child for therapy, why have you not taken them? Then it gives you that opportunity now to be open and say, okay, you guys, this is what I'm facing, and you can get help. Yeah.
Felistar, while doing my research, I've noticed that gadgets, phone, tablets, screen, cameras, they kind of sometimes have an effect on kids with autism, and the caregivers, mostly their house helps perhaps, or teachers in school, do not know what to do. What are some of the advices that you can give for caregivers, because at least you've been there, done that?
I'd say just let them. But most parents say that you should not let your kids play with the phone or with the tablets, but God works in miraculous ways. Me, for my case, my daughter had an issue with understanding emotions. If you were angry, she would look at you like, what is wrong with your face? If you're happy, she's like, your face is looking weird today. But because I would give her the phone, tablet, when she's on the phone, akikaa tu huko ndani, she learned about emotions. She learned about so many things that I never taught her. When you just give her the tablet, I remember there's a time she went to my neighbor, and my neighbor was asking, how can she write on my TV if she doesn't go to school? She will type. Her mind is, like right now, there was a story that they did about my baby yesterday, and she's obsessed with cars. My daughter is 5 years old, but she can identify like 10 logos of different cars. And in every logo, she'll tell you different models, Toyota Ractis, whatever. She'll tell you so many things. But if you ask her, what did you eat today? She'll be like, eat today, yay! She won't answer you because the problem is with communication.
Yes.
But because I give her the phone, she will learn other things. She will learn how to kumsaidia sikakue na maasira na vitu mingi mingi. It will just calm her down, and you'll realize they're so good at the gadgets because izo kujua about the logos, about typing things, learning about emotions, learning about different things learn through the gadgets. So naweza sema, yes, I understand parents say, oh, if you give your child the phone, hawataongea, watachelewa kuongea, but me, I've seen positive impact because of giving her the gadgets. Yes.
For caregivers,
yes,
you at Mali Therapy Center, of course, you have to give some care for those people who come with children that have autism. And also at Autism Mom KE, you're doing a number of things. What is the one thing or two things or even three things that you can advise the caregivers? Because I believe that is where we need a lot of emphasis.
Yes, that's true. Oh, thank you for that. So I'll tell you, first, our vision for Autism Moms is to empower, educate, and support. So we do exactly that. So empowering, we do, for example, my journey. We take our personal stories and take them to the group and use them to support. Because what worked for me, I put my child at home for homeschooling for 4 years. I realized that there's a very vibrant homeschooling community. So what I did is got the lady who's in charge of the homeschooling community in Nairobi, and we did a Zoom and we trained the parents. How do you set up a classroom at home? How do you make it, you have to be very intentional about what you're doing. So we were able to convince a number of parents that it is not, I know from our background, education is important, but what about the quality of education? Because there's no point of you paying a lot of money and your child is just running around the whole day and not getting anything. Later they ask you to leave because the school has no capacity for your child. So we told them, for example, homeschooling. We also have those videos that I'm telling you about that we share in the group. We advise them on, we try to bring them back to the idea that therapy is most important, because therapy, I can tell you, is the only solution that we have. Remember, autism has no cure. So most will come with, oh, I went to someone to pray for the child or whatever. We listen to you, but at the end of the day, we bring you back to the reality and we tell you, you know what, there are these therapies that are available. KISE is offering this. Our level 5 hospitals are offering this. Diagnosis, you can find it. So we give you tools that will really help you. We also go to them. We create awareness on the ground. We visit the schools. So far, we have partnered with the NCPWD, and we have been doing autism awareness in schools, where we have spoken to a number of schools, and they have said that if a child is coming from Mali, if a child is in Autism Moms, we are going to take them in on condition that you come and train our teachers. So what do? We go and facilitate. We teach the teachers, and we have found that so far we have 13 kids who have integrated into schools, and they are doing so well. We have trained shadow teachers. We get the teachers who are not trained in special education. We tell them, you know what, come to Mali, see how we do it. Enter in the program. 1 month you're in ABA, the next on OT. So by the time you're going back to your school, you know how to identify, because autism comes with other connected disorders like dyslexia, like dyscalculia, like Down syndrome, CP. And so when a teacher is trained to even do a simple diagnosis, then they're even able to communicate with the parents, because another big complaint is the schools don't tell us. They just take our money. But I tell them, I understand, I was there. I was mad at a school, but I realized that they don't know how to communicate. So what are we doing? We are taking our training back to the community, to your homes, to your communities, to your churches. We are called to talk in churches. They say that churches don't accept us. We say no. I'm preaching and your child is screaming. How am I supposed to understand? So what do? There are churches that have set up different classes for children on the spectrum, and we have our team that go there to volunteer on Sundays. So we are empowering, we are supporting, we are educating. Yes.
And I'm looking at how you were able to, go to Mathare and also go to Kenya Institute of Special Education, where you have been able to get help. A lot of parents have not done that. What are some of the services and what are some of the help that you were given by the Kenya Institute of Special Education? And by the way, we had extended an invitation to them, but unfortunately, they could not be able to be here. We could have given us quite an in-depth coverage of how exactly they do help people with this kind of syndrome. But you have taken your kids for help. What are some of the therapy sessions that you have seen which can help other parents who do not know about that?
I only knew about speech therapy and occupational therapy. I never knew that there is hydrotherapy, there is dark room, there are other things that will stimulate the child. I never knew. I get excited when you have an appointment. I get excited because I get to see so many things that they have that they help with the child to cope. They have some things that a dark room is really dark and it has lights that stimulate the child. Kama ako hyper anaenda chini, kama ako chini anainuka juu kidogo. There is hydrotherapy where they'll go inside the water and swim. Okay, I can't talk about all the therapies, but there are so many therapies that I never knew existed, and they are more than affordable. If you can, ukiweza tu, it is more than affordable. They understand. When my problem was because I never had anybody close kuniambia where to go and how to do it. I was very overprotective of my child. I had this the first time I took her to for an assessment. I didn't go to medical assessment. I went to educational assessment, and I realized you should start with medical before you go to educational. When I went to educational, hawakunielezea where to go and what to do. So I was in the dark for 2 years. I went back to government, to Mathare, and after they had diagnosed, I went back to Kise. Now after I went back to Kise with the medical report, they took me in. Now I mean, what to do. But if you go and if you try to go to Kise and you have not gone for medical assessment, you'll go round and round in circles. You won't know where to go because they need a doctor to tell them, this child has 1, 2, 3. If she comes to your institution, she needs to go for this therapy, this therapy, this therapy. But if you go for educational, they won't do that. But going for first educational, and then now you can go to, first you go for medical, and then now you go to Kise. But if you go to Kise, if you go before
you go the first thing, because at the end of the day, this is a condition that it's not like somebody can say naumwa na tumbo, naumwa na kichwa, naumwa, and then it's somebody who has communication issues as well. I'm looking at rehabilitation centers or such as Mali. It's private. And most of them are private or even faith-based. The government's one, like Mathare, Kise, they're not quite robust. And now we have county governments. How can even county governments be roped in to help now that even health is devolved in the country?
It's interesting. I remember our governor, he's promised to set up 17 autism centers. And that was the question. How was he going to set up? Who is helping him? And the parents are really hoping that they would be able to get an opportunity to talk to him and maybe just put in their input, because our government facilities, institutions are equipped. They have trained professionals, but people are not aware. Like she's saying, Kise is a big facility. It has a lot to offer, but our parents are not aware. They are not aware of the facility. They are not aware of what it can, how much it can help, the difference between why they need to go to a hospital and then Kise, you know, she's said it very clearly. There's an educational assessment, there's a medical assessment. Both are very important. There's also the disability card. There are some institutions that have partnered with NCPWD and they offer services, you see. So the government is really trying in these institutions, but we are not aware. We are not aware of what they are offering, how much, how do we support them? Because there are parents who would come in and say, okay, fine, you don't have an assessment kit, I can support in that. So if the parents are the ones who are feeling the pinch, they know the journey they've gone. If the government is able to partner with the parents, I can tell you we won't even have those private institutions. We won't have need for the private institutions because they are few and they are quite expensive. So if the government would partner with the parents, it would help even in lowering the costs. Yes.
And because of the interest of time, ladies, let me give you each a minute each. I want you to speak to parents who, one, there are some parents who hide children with disabilities. There are parents who do not know they can be able to get help. And there are parents who have not sought help at all, or even caregivers. I want you to look, camera, and kindly speak to them.
Okay. First, before I go to the parents, I'll talk to the government, please. Please make sure that you have enough awareness, because there's no way I'll take my daughter or my child to look for help if I don't know if they need help. So number one, the government should create more awareness. And you as a parent, if you have a child who has disability, mental disability, anything, mpeleke to the right institution. Answer a medical assessment, then go for educational assessment. It's going to get better. The therapists, they work magic. I have seen. They will improve. I know it's difficult. I understand. But trust me, it's going to get better. If you seek help, it's going to get better.
Thank you. Felistar, Muthoni.
Yes,
Pauline?
so what I can say is, I don't know which camera to talk to, but what I can say is to the parents, early intervention is key. And when I talk about early intervention, a child on the spectrum can get a diagnosis as early as 18 months. Don't wait. Mothers, let me talk to you directly. You know when there's a problem. You know it. Please don't ignore that feeling. Go and seek help. Our level 5 hospitals, when you go to the occupational department, I can tell you, you will get results. Remember, it is autism and other related disorders. I will also ask, seek help. When you know there's a problem with the milestones that your child is going through, if the child did not sit at the right time, if your child did not crawl, if your child did not breastfeed, you know, all these milestones that you know the child must go through, please seek help, so that the earlier the better. For me, early intervention is key.
And just one extra one, because you also operate Mali Therapy Center, and also you have mothers who, you have a caucus of mothers who have children with autism. Kindly speak to them where exactly they can get you.
Okay, so Mali Therapy Center is in Karen, on Muthoni Road. When you get to Karen Shopping Center, we've spoken to the people there. They will direct you there, and we can be able to help you set up a home program, set up a school program, and also just offer you support as a center.
Of course, you can also check them out on their social media spaces. Thank you so much, Pauline Wamukoya, who is the director and team leader at Mali Therapy Center for Children with Autism. And just next to her, we have Felistar Muthoni, who is a mother and a caregiver to a child with autism, or autism spectrum syndrome. That is exactly the right word to use. And she's also one of us, and it's it's quite a story. Thank you so much indeed for trusting us and also giving us your story. She works for the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. She's the makeup that you see on us. That is exactly what she does and makes us look better on the screen. But thank you so much indeed for also watching. Let's continue this conversation on social media in any way that you can be able to help a child. One of the things that is actually big bottleneck is the stigma and the lack of awareness. My name is Njue, and Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. I'm now giving the baton to my colleague Kasichana Masha for Kurunzi Mashinani and Tamrini. You have a good one.